Ulfric Stormcloak and Galmar Stonefist lie dead in the Jarl's Hall in Windhelm, and the Imperials have claimed victory in Skyrim's civil war. General Tullius and Legate Ricca begin the efforts to restore order in Skyrim as part of the Empire. But what comes next from here? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Not too long ago, we covered what would happen in Skyrim after the Stormcloaks win the civil war and attempt to establish Skyrim as an independent province. This time, we will be looking at the other outcome of the Civil War storyline in Skyrim. Now, since the outcome of this is player determined, both sides and storylines are plausible, just not canon, because this is simply my interpretation of what could happen if one side wins over the other. But in today's video, as stated by the title, we will take a look at a further storyline involving the Imperials after their victory in the Civil War. Unlike the Stormcloaks, whose goal it was to establish an independent Skyrim, the goal of the Imperials is to maintain the status quo of keeping Skyrim as part of the Empire. In fact, it would go even further. One important driving factor in the Empire joining the Thalmor by signing the White Gold Concordat is that it gives the Empire some time to rebuild their troops for a possible future counteroffensive against the Thalmor down the line. After seeing the tenacity of the Stormcloaks during the Civil War, one thing is clear. If the Empire is to succeed in launching some sort of counteroffensive, they will need the help of the Stormcloak soldiers, a feat that is not easy to achieve. And with that, let's begin this story. It is one random morning, and the Dragonborn has just defeated a random dragon on the road during their travels, and after launching a random firebolt that sends the skeleton flying to the horizon, he is approached by a courier with a letter that is from an unexpected sender. Dragonborn, congratulations on your victory over the Stormcloak Rebellion. Defeating them is a key step in establishing peace throughout Tamriel. We have heard of your accomplishments and are aware of your achievements and status as a Dragonborn. We apologize for the inconvenience that led to your arrest in Helgen. I hope this is the beginning of a prosperous and beneficial relationship between our two parties. On behalf of the Dominion, E. This is just being sent with no additional quests to follow, unlike most letters that come from the courier, so the Dragonborn goes about their business. Not too long after, another letter is delivered to the Dragonborn, this time requesting his presence in Castle Dour, where Tullius requests his presence. When the Dragonborn arrives to Solitude, he speaks with the general and his legate, Ricca. Dragonborn, first of all, I would like to say on behalf of the Empire and Skyrim, we thank you for your aid in the war against the rebellion. Without you, we would have lost Skyrim to the rebels, and that would have devastating results for all. I know you probably weren't expecting a history lesson, but I think it's important to know why this war happened in the first place. 30 years ago, the Thalmor invaded the Empire in the Great War. They had pillaged cities throughout the provinces loyal to the Empire to expand their power and influence, and their eyes were on the Imperial city, which they had managed to capture. Despite our Emperor Titus Mede II and his leading efforts to recapture the city, they did not have enough strength to reclaim Tamriel. So they signed a treaty with the Dominion known as the White Gold Concordat. One of the provisions of that treaty was the banning of Talos, which is what angered the Stormcloaks to start this rebellion. I don't blame them, considering Talos is highly revered in the lands of the Nords. Unfortunately, you coming into the picture makes it interesting, because the last time Dragonborns were living in Tamriel, they sat on the throne of the Empire. I am afraid some may see you as a threat to the rule of the Dominion and may attempt to take you out of the picture. I implore you, Dragonborn, stay safe on your travels. As we are now subjects to the elves, we cannot openly rebel against them, but I have a feeling that when the time comes, your services will be needed again. Farewell. The Dragonborn then leave Solitude, off to their next adventure. Despite that history lesson from Tullius about the Thalmor and their attacks on the Empire, there was a chilling feeling as if the general was trying to warn them of a possible attack by the elves, which is interesting considering they had just sent a letter previously, hoping for a prosperous relationship. Sometime after this event, the Dragonborn is once again exploring a dungeon in Skyrim when they are suddenly attacked by a band of Thalmor soldiers. You there, are you the Dragonborn? Even if there's an option to lie about your identity, it will not work. You cannot fool me. The description of your appearance is quite apparent. The Dominion would like to extend their acknowledgement of your contributions to defeating the rebels, but your services are no longer required. We are here to execute you. Kill them. During the battle, the Dragonborn gets unexpected aid from Delphine and Esbern, who help him dispose of the Thalmor. We were afraid something like this would happen. We got word the Thalmor would seek to eliminate you, and we were right. They fear your status as Dragonborn might give the Empire hope that they can stop the Dominion once and for all. But you are now a wanted man throughout Skyrim. We must flee to Skyhaven Temple. And with that, the three set out to the Hidden Temple. with the Dragonborn now wanted by the Thalmor. Because of their easy access throughout Skyrim, they will have agents installed in each of the 9 strongholds, keeping an eye out for the Dragonborn. This will make open exploration in each of the cities very difficult to achieve without being sneaky. This will have to be our active base of operations while we determine our next plan. Unfortunately, due to your popular status around these parts, you will have to find a way to lay low. Hiding your face will be difficult, so if you're able to change your face, then that'll be a start. Otherwise, wearing a hood or clothing that covers your face will work, but steer clear from any alert guards. And that is where the face sculptor in Riften plays an actual role in the story. It's not just merely for changing your face because you messed up during character creation. Of course, this is optional, but doing so will allow you to openly walk on the streets of each of the cities. Unfortunately, the Dragonborn still has one quality that distinguishes it from other people, which is their ability to absorb dragon souls, which is why any Aldmeri scouts and certain soldiers can still detect the Dragonborn, but not to the same extent if they didn't change their face. It's kinda similar to the Elder Scrolls Online when you can get a disguise, but certain guards from that faction can detect you if you're close enough. Esbern then continues the conversation. Well, Dragonborn, it looks like you will have to exercise caution when you traverse Skyrim. For now, you will have enemies behind the city walls. If you can continue recruiting more people for the Blades, as well as talk to any members of factions you are associated with to see if they can provide support. This is where the Dragonborn would then go back to Skyrim. It is important to note that if the Dragonborn has kept Paarthurnax alive, this will not matter to the story because the Blades' hatred for the Thalmor for hunting them down during the war far surpasses their desire to kill Paarthurnax because of his role in the Dragon Rule. So they will help the Dragonborn regardless. The Dragonborn then continues once again with their adventures until this time he is summoned to an undisclosed location underneath Solitude, where he is greeted by a rather interesting person. Dragonborn, we need to talk. Because I like myself a little cliffhanger, we will end the first part of the story here. Compared to the Stormcloak storyline, this one is already very different, but regardless of the outcome, the bigger threat remains to be the same, which is the Thalmor, which shows that the two were technically on the same side in that they saw the Thalmor as threats, but they went about their strategy a little different. The Stormcloaks took a more aggressive approach in wanting to establish independence from the Empire, who they thought was weak for signing the treaty, while the Empire signed it because of a lack of offensive power while biding their time to replenish their troops for a future counteroffensive. So in a way, they are kind of on the same side, but hey, maybe it sets the stage for a possible what if the Stormcloaks and Imperials had banded together against the Thalmor? Another story there. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like here and comment on what other stories you would like to hear. I will likely be alternating between Elder Scrolls lore and these short stories because I simply find them fun to make and hope you can come along for the ride. I know there was someone who was asking if I can make this into a mod. Unfortunately, I don't have modding skills yet, but once I learn how to mod, maybe I'll get into the modding game and maybe I can share some of these and bring them to life in Skyrim for you guys. But anyway, you guys can subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more content. It would be great. And of course, turning on those post notifications wouldn't hurt so you know when a new video gets uploaded. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and I will see you all in the next lore video.